So you don't watch sports ball at all, right? You don't watch football.
No.
You don't watch any sports. You're a total nerd, right? Well,
I
you watch
watch some
esports.
I like watching basketball, but
Oh, okay. Do you know
I
any players and stuff like that?
just on the Warriors.
Well, when you watch football in the past, do you recall, like, what do you think a football coach looks like or is? What do you picture when I say football coach?
Bill Walsh.
Okay, so like an old man, right?
Yeah.
You think
I
most
mean,
football coaches
I've
are old
seen
men? Probably,
no,
right?
no. I don't. I mean, I think it's a mixture. But typically I would say not younger than like 30.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
I would
there's
say
been very
I would,
few younger than, no,
yeah.
none younger than 30, I think.
Yeah. I would say yeah, at least like 35 or late 30s probably.
Well, for a long time, though, that wasn't the case. It's mostly older men.
Hmm.
I think a coach in his 30s was a rarity for a long, long time. And even then, it was like some fat guy who looked like a football guy, right? Right? That's what you
I don't know.
picture. Or Bill Walsh, you just said, is that old man, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't say old man, but
He's
I,
old? What are
I
you talking about? He was like 70.
was he? I don't know.
Yes, he was about
I just
70.
I remember he had white hair, but
Well, since you don't pay
well,
attention to sports ball or football or anything, it's totally different now. There's tons of young coaches who are pretty good looking. And what's more, they have smoking hot girlfriends. It's a very weird state of affairs. And it kind of snuck up on me because usually I think of it as old fat guys or football coaches, right?
okay, I need to see some
Okay,
evidence.
I'll show you. Oh, you don't believe me? All right. So this is the former head coach of the Cardinals, and he's pretty young. He's 43 now, but he was 39 when he got his job, and he's a really good looking guy, and he's been dating like smoke shows just nonstop. I mean, if you're a good looking guy, you're not that old, and you make $7 million a year, you would have to assume that yeah, you date this kind of woman.
Uh-huh.
This is just so weird to me. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't think it's bad. I think it's kind of cool, but then it's so different than what I remember.
Hmm.
It's a little uncomfortable.
I have to imagine, I mean, even if you're old, you could probably be getting smoke shows.
Probably, but you have to also remember that most football coaches, it's not just clout or money or whatever. You have to remember that football coaches work like 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. So they're really married to their jobs.
Hmm.
It's not conducive to having any kind of personal life. So even notwithstanding the whole being good looking and being younger, that's not even maybe the biggest impediment. It's just how much the job takes out of you.
Hmm.
And I don't know, maybe this guy just doesn't work that hard. I don't know. He got fired and he just like went to Thailand and he just said, I don't feel like coaching anymore. People asked him too
Went to
because there's some
Thailand, huh?
interest.
That's almost like code for something.
No, it's not. He's with his girlfriend because she had pictures in Thailand just now too.
Ah, okay.
I don't know if you understand this, but when coaches get fired, usually their contract's guaranteed. So they can just sit around and collect money.
Hmm.
And this guy apparently is just totally satisfied just to hang around with his super hot girlfriend in Thailand. But that's not what I think of when I think of coaches. Now, to be fair, there's tons of coaches who are, your old school, what you would think of an old fat guy or just somebody who's totally obsessed with football. And in fact, other coaches who get fired and still have a guaranteed contract and money coming in, the vast majority of them do not take time off. They find another job, even though at that next job, they're usually working for quote unquote free. Like they would make the same amount of money if they sat at home and did nothing, but they want to be working 14-hour days. They want to be in the game.
Hmm.
They're competitive or they're obsessed or something.
So what do you think has changed?
This sort of social media age, this superficial age, it's just sort of infected everything.
Hmm.
Not even football is safe. The younger and younger you go, as far as coaches, you'll get people with different priorities. Like a 70-year-old coach, his life will be entirely football at the expense of everything else.
Hmm.
But the younger guys, 40 and under, they're talking about, maybe taking a break, maybe stepping away from the game after 4 or 5 years. And like 4 or 5 years, that's nothing. And you're not even old. You're like 40 years old. What the fuck? There's the LA Rams coach. He's only 36 or 37. He won a Super Bowl. He also has a smoke show girlfriend. And he was talking about retiring and just doing TV. The old guys like Bill Belichick, they would never consider that. They would just go and try to win more Super Bowls, you know?
How much of this is the just the laziness that's going around, and how much of it is sort of just different priorities with social media and everything?
I don't want to call it laziness. I don't think it has anything to do with laziness. I mean, even this guy, he works harder than either of us. Just trust me, he works longer hours than us.
Hmm.
I don't think it's laziness, but
But not right now,
he
you're
doesn't.
saying. He's not working right now. Right?
Not now, but he got fired, you know,
Yeah.
and he's getting paid a bunch of money, and he's put in more hours than we probably put in our entire lives. So
Hmm.
he's not lazy, but he has better work-life balance priorities, or not better is a loaded term. He has different ones, right? Because he's of a younger generation. He wants to be young and good looking and make his money, but also enjoy his life and have a smoking hot girlfriend. He enjoys those things, whereas previous generations, they don't enjoy any of those things. They only want to be obsessed with this job and being the best at it. Subjectively,
Is
it
that
may
what
even
about
be a
the
bad thing.
what
It may
about
not. That may not be a good way.
what about the prestige of the job? Has it declined, do you think?
No, no, no. It's greater than ever. Like people, they get more endorsements. Coaches are idolized, you know,
Hmm.
and they can jump on TV and make a ton of money. Like just the prestige is out of this world.
Okay.
And this is not even judging these guys negatively. Like, oh, you younger generation, you're not as dedicated to work. Like, well, that may be true, and I think it's true. However, there are plenty of examples of the older generation where their dedication and obsession with this job has really hurt them. And I'll give you like a couple examples that I think there are two famous head coaches, Andy Reid and Tony Dunn. You don't know these names, but two famous head coaches where they ignored their families so much that their sons killed themselves. And now I don't know it's exactly because, oh yeah, this your dad works all the time. I mean, lots of people have dads work all the time and they don't kill themselves. But
Hmm.
I can't imagine that this environment was a positive influence, right? So it's not a value judgment for me to say these young guys got it wrong. Maybe they have it right. And maybe these old guys, maybe they should introduce a little bit more work-life balance into their lives.
Hmm. Yeah, but I guess as if you're a fan of the game, obviously, I think you would want to see the coach.
Of course, if you're a fan, you don't care about, his dead son or whatever.
Yeah, and I
Sorry.
mean, and this is why I think for me that's partially why I respect the Japanese so much. It's like the craftsmen; they seem like they're all in.
Right. They have that sort of mentality of obsession.
Yeah, like the people making knives, whatever,
But
tea,
who knows if
knives, anything.
is it healthy? Who knows? Is it better or worse? Maybe not for me to say. But
Probably not
anyway,
healthy. I mean,
it's probably not healthy, but it produces better results, I think.
yeah.
Like this guy was a pretty mediocre coach and he got fired and he has money now and he can go to Thailand with his smoking hot girlfriend. And that's great for you. But what if I'm a fan of this team? Well, if I'm a fan of this team, I'd rather have an obsessive, unhealthy, maniacal coach, right?
Yep.